Hi everyone, it's another episode of Life Nuggets with Ade and Karen. On Life Nuggets, we get to talk about everything that will lead us into purposeful living, emotional and spiritual wellness. On this episode, we're talking about emotions, our emotional wellness. I have a guest with me today who is going to be giving us some tips on how to manage our emotions. But before I go on to introduce my guest, I would like to ask, what does he mean to be emotionally well? Permit me to answer in a few words. Your ability to be able to manage your feelings and the related behavior, cope effectively under stress, and also adapt to change is what it means to be emotionally well. You'll agree with me that life happens, and a lot of times we haven't planned for the stress and the changes that happen in our lives. And I call these things interruptions. They can come from our jobs, from family, relationships with others. A lot of interruptions do come. I've seen a lot of people who couldn't handle such. They were so disappointed, it led into fatal things. The inability to manage your emotions can lead into depression, mental sickness of all kinds, and for some, suicidal thoughts, and even eventually lead to death. So managing emotions is very key. I quote something from Bruce Lee that says that emotions can be the enemy. If you give in to your emotions, you may lose yourself. But you must be one with your emotions, because the body automatically follows the mind. It's important that we understand our emotions and we're able to manage it effectively no matter the circumstances that come our ways. You see, in life, there's so many things we can control. Change, they say, is the most constant thing in life. So it would happen whether you ask for it or not. Stress is all around, within the environment, on your job, even in the home, even with raising children. So these things will come our way and we can control them. But what we can control is how we handle them. Emotional intelligence. And I like a quote from someone, Travis Bradbury. He says that emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize and understand emotions in yourself and others, and the ability to use the awareness to manage your behavior and relationships. So it's important that we're emotionally intelligent as well. But lastly, I want to say that the Word of God says to us in 3 John 2 that I wish above all things that thou would prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers. God desires us to prosper in our emotions, spiritually, in life, in career, every facet of life. So right now, let me hand you over to my guest today. A woman of gentle spirit, good reasoning, and sound judgment. One who is a certified professional counselor. One God has been using to be a blessing to people, either for their pre-marriage counseling, for their marital issues, and individual counseling of all sorts. Mrs. Oluwatoyin is using both her knowledge of God, because she's a leader even in the house of God, our professional counseling experience and knowledge, and also a personal life of a successful marriage of 27 years to be a blessing to people. And I know that through her today, the Lord will bless you. Please welcome with me my guest, and let's talk emotions with Toyin Soneye.
Thank you so much, Pastor Yinka, for the honor of having me on your platform. Choose right, choose life. Well done, and God bless you for all that you're doing. Today, we're talking about something that's very crucial for successful living, and that is emotional wellness. Emotional wellness is simply the ability to understand your thoughts, feelings, and behavior, as well as being able to adequately handle and manage the challenges that life brings your way. Life is full of a lot of drama, which we don't have control over. And this can affect our emotion in different ways. They can make us feel high, low, sad, anxious, fearful, or even excited. The way we feel is very important, as it naturally affects the way we carry on with our day-to-day activities, the way we interact and relate with people within the sphere of life, our work life, as well as our overall mental health. Now, this then tells us that emotional wellness is very important for a very successful, healthy, impactful, and active life. Is it possible to have poor mental health? Absolutely. And a number of things can cause this, and I'll just mention a few. 1, unhealthy relationships. Abusive or relationships where we're not appreciated can trigger poor mental health. Environmental factors as well. Poor infrastructure, economic challenge, and so on and so forth. And stress as well. Being under a lot of pressure, having overwhelming challenges, worrying about issues that we have no control over, having responsibilities that we find very overbearing, facing uncertainties generally, all of this can affect us. Having challenges with our physical health, trauma, stigma, discrimination, and even loneliness. All of this can cause poor emotional health. Now, poor emotional health can impact negatively on our emotional wellness. They can make us sick. Acute stress can cause psychological problem, hypertension, heart issues as well. We can have challenges in our relationships. We can have difficulties in the workplace. We can have poor decision making. We're not able to make the right decisions when we have poor emotional health. We have trouble with concentration, and generally our immunity is very low. On the flip side, when we have emotional wellness, when we have good emotional health, it impacts positively on our relationships. It enhances our productivity. It promotes good health. It boosts our immunity. It gives us positive mindsets. And we're also able to provide love, care, and support for other people that are around us. Now, are there things that we can do that can boost our emotional wellness? Absolutely. They are quite numerous, and I'll mention some. Number 1, it's important for us to understand that human beings can fail. You can only vouch for yourself 100% and not on other people. The arm of flesh would always fail. It would be foolhardy to depend wholeheartedly on any human being and not give room for a margin of error. It is only God that is absolutely dependable. It is only God that cannot fail. Jeremiah 17:9 says, that's the New Living Translation, the human heart is the most deceitful of all things and desperately wicked. Who really knows how bad it is? Also, it's important that we acknowledge our achievements daily. Don't be too hard on yourself. Celebrate yourself for any achievement, any milestone that you achieve, irrespective of the size of the accomplishment. Also learn to celebrate yourself when you help other people and celebrate other people as well. Learn to practice forgiveness and start with yourself. We sometimes place too much demand on ourselves and have unrealistic expectations from other people. Choose to learn from your mistakes and move on. Don't flog yourself over spilled milk. Forgive others as well and learn to let go of offenses. Never ever take revenge. And I'll read 1 Thessalonians 5:15 from the Contemporary English Version. And it says, don't be hateful to people just because they are hateful to you. Rather, be good to each other and to everyone else. Surround yourself with people who value you. This will be people with good or healthy self-esteem, people with positive mindsets, people who value you, people who appreciate you, people who celebrate you for who you are and for what you are, people who will tell you the truth in spite of the fact that they love you. Have associations or a good support system. This is always very helpful because when we're low, there's always a place for us to run to. This can consist of family members, old students associations, your church family, your business associations, your professional associations, your neighbors, and so on and so forth. Proverbs 18:24 says, a man who has friends must himself be friendly, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. Have healthy habits, eat well, exercise regularly, get enough rest and sleep well. All this will help improve physical, mental, and emotional wellness. We often sacrifice our sleep and rest for work and deadlines. But remember that nobody can function well when they are tired. Practice positive self-talk. Identify your strengths and focus on them. Develop a habit of positive thinking. Say positive things to yourself and about your situation. Write confessions concerning your situation and confess them regularly. Proverbs 18:21 says, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit. Practice regular journaling. Writing about your daily activities and your experiences can give you a deeper and better understanding about the emotions that you have around them. As you write, you realize you are able to go deeper into the issues, into the challenges, and think about things in a different way. It may help you realize the struggles you're going through and what you can do about them. Develop a gratitude list. It's very important. This is making a list of things that you're grateful or thankful for. 1 Thessalonians 5:18 says, and in the midst of everything, be always giving thanks, for this is God's perfect plan for you in Christ Jesus. And lastly, talk about your feelings. Don't shy away from help. You need to talk about your feelings and emotions. It will be difficult for you to understand this if you don't talk about how you feel. If you don't trust anyone around you, then it's advisable that you seek the help of a therapist. A therapist is better able to listen to you as you walk through the emotions you're feeling and can also help you with learning strategies to cope. Even if you don't understand exactly how you feel, a therapist can help you get to the root of the problems and guide you through skills that you can use to improve on your emotional health. Above all, remember that God is always there for you. He has said He will not leave you nor forsake you. He has said you should be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication and with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to Him. cast your burdens at the feet of Jesus because you know that He will care for you. He never forsakes the righteous. And when you learn to cast your burdens at the feet of Jesus, even when you are in the midst of the storm, you will experience peace. And ultimately, at the end of the day, you will enjoy rest on every side of your life. Now, for you to trust and cast your burdens at the feet of Jesus, you must have faith. And it's impossible for you to have faith in someone that you don't have a relationship with. When you have a relationship with Jesus, God sends the Holy Spirit into your life, who performs a sevenfold function. He's your counselor, He's your comforter, He's your intercessor, He's your advocate, He's your standby, and He's your helper. And when you have the
Wow, thank you for that excellent presentation, Mrs. Toyin Soneye. Really blessed by it. And I know somebody out there is also touched and blessed. I want to say a very big thank you. Thank you for honoring us on CRCL and being here to give us these tips to be able to manage our emotions. She ended up with something really great, and that's offering you that choice of life, and that is Jesus. Jesus makes it all perfect for us. I'll quote Joyce Meyer. She said, "You are a spirit, you have a soul, and you live in a body." It says you have emotions, you have your thoughts, you have a will, and you also have a conscience. And he says that there's no part of you that Jesus didn't come to heal, that Jesus came to heal every part of you, and he desires that every part of you is completely made whole. So in Jesus, you have wholeness, whoever you are. If you don't know Jesus and you said the prayer, like she said, look for a Bible-believing church. If you need someone to hold your hand in faith, I'll be available on cr.clnow@gmail.org. If you're a child of God already, dwell more in the Word, and peradventure, you may need the service of a therapist or a counselor to help you along the line. You can reach out to Mrs. Toyin Soneye. Whether you want to get married, she'll be there to help you. Or you're in marriage and you're going through difficulties, she's also there. Whatever the issue may be, that you need a counselor, please reach out to her, and you will be glad that you did. I'm already blessed. There's a part 2 of this program, and that's coming up in another 2 weeks. Ms. Soneye will be joining us then, and we'll get to speak to her one-on-one. I'll see you then. But until then, choose right, choose life, and stay blessed.